Hi, welcome to Understanding Conscious Cryptids with me, Khat Hansen, your host. Hi everyone, it's me, Khat. Welcome to today's class. Today's class is going to be on Bigfoot, SASQUATCH, SHE ATCHUKI MA, whichever way you prefer to call them, language. And I'm going to give a few phrases because that's what's been requested of me. I go into in-depth study on these people, these beings, for my Patreon, so my Patreon page. It tells you there all the tiers and the levels and what you get for donating. And I would like to give a big shout out to my Patreons and say thank you very much for supporting me. I wouldn't be able to do the things that I am doing here without your help, and I appreciate that. Anyway, I'm going to put the link for that in the description down below, so if you care to click on there. Also, I'm going to put the words up here and the phrases and how to say them, so that way you have the ability to repeat them back correctly, which is really important when dealing with these guys. As I've said before, consistency is a big issue with these guys, repetitiveness and consistency. So the first few words that I'm going to give you guys, phrases I should say, are just to get you started in dealing with them. And the first one would be hello, which is NA HALLI OH. Okay, see, very simple language. It's not a real complex, complicated language. They do have it in a spoken form with a form of hand signs that goes with it, so it's very basic. The second phrase I'm going to give you is no harm, which is NEP ISU. And that's a really important one when dealing with these guys, because you want them to know that you do not mean them any harm. Okay? Are you here? Is SHE ATCHUKI MA. Okay? These guys are usually watching you before you even realize they're there. They're there. So it's important to kind of just let them know that you are aware that they are there. And I always suggest that, because in that way it lets them know that you are actively looking for them and are conscious of them being around you. I share food is another big one. PAPU U CHACHI. These phrases that I'm giving you are really key, important phrases. And I'll get to them in a minute. I'll get kind of into depth as to why they're important. Come is HAKAYLO. So you would use that with, with the signal, with your hand waving towards you, saying come, come. Chase is MUPTI AHESE. MUPTI AHESE means, chase, run, that sort of thing. Like run away. Many is MANUYE. Meat is YAEBEECHO. And there again, another important one. YAEBEECHO means, you have food, you have meat, which is something that they desperately need. Dangerous animal is PAPU NOMA. PAPU NOMA is dangerous to you, not to them, but to you. And lets them know that you're on high alert. Water is KOLUNE. So that's important there, in that they like to drink it, they need it to live. To go or to travel is WOYU HAKAYLEE. WOYU HAKAYLEE means like you're going out of your area, your distance, okay? Happy is CHUKALEI. CHUKALEI means, everyone needs to be happy, and these guys are no exception. You'll find in dealing with them that they are very happy people. I am listening is MABEECHI. MABEECHI. And put that emphasis on the M. MABEECHI. Means that you are listening to them, for them. Okay? Humans are nearby are TOTZIWHOA UCHENIKO. TOTZIWHOA UCHENIKO means that there are definitely humans that you are not knowing about or are not friends with. So that kind of there again puts them on their toes, you know. Birds are NOPI EST. Now remember, if you've ever listened to any of my interviews, birds are really important to these guys because they use them to see through their eyes and to spy on people. Friend is Ayeeshi. Ayeeshi means that you are a good friend too. It doesn't mean you're a bad friend. It means that you bring them food, you bring them gifts. You know, it has definite positive connotations for them. These guys seriously are skitterish. I know you guys have noticed that about them. They like to stay hidden. They don't like to make themselves known unless they have been watching you. And if that's the case, then they will go out of their way to let you know that they are there. And in so doing, they will leave like a footprint. They'll leave you gifts, you know, bird feathers, whole birds, frogs, you know, just strange things that are important to them. You know, and I get a lot of questions about that. You know, well, why in the world would they leave me a frog? Well, that's because frogs are edible and they're aquatic, so they're telling you that there's water nearby. There's just a couple of different reasons as to why they would leave them for you. People oftentimes tell me that when they find them left for them, the frog will have one leg torn off. And that usually is not done to gross you out. It's done so that the frog won't hop away, so that he'll stay in the vicinity around that area until you are there to catch him. You know, think of a cat, you know, that brings home mice for her kittens to play with. Well, she's doing that not so much as for sport as to teach them how to hunt in the long run. So that's what they're doing here. They're leaving gifts that are of use. They're not a very frivolous people. They're very utilitarian, which means that their gifts that they leave can be used for something, you know, and that's what's very important about these guys, is that they are not raised to be extravagant like we are, you know, and go outside and use the credit card and go outside our shopping limit, etc., etc. These guys can only use what they have need for. You know, if the flower goes out of season tomorrow, then the flower goes out of season tomorrow. You better get used to it and get it today while it's still here. You know, this is how they are. You're going to find that some of them want salt and some of them do not. You know, it just depends on them as a people, you know, and especially when it comes to salt, it's them as a singular entity. You know, do they like salt? Do they like heavy salt, light salt, or no salt? You know, it just depends. So you will see that each thing will be customized and custom tailored like that. And that's simply because it's the same way we are. You know, the way our society is set up. You know, we have the many, we have the few, we have just ourselves, our own household, you know, our own circle of friends, things like that. So they are set up pretty much the same way that we are. Some extravagant things to them are things like honey. That's very extravagant. Anything with like molasses and oats and things like that, very extravagant, because they don't get those things. So they really appreciate them when they do get them. You know, I always tell people, if you want to make their day, go down to the dollar store, find something with a whole bunch of feathers and a whole bunch of bright colored beads, and take it up to them and set it, you know, in a wood bowl off to the side for them. You're going to hear hoots and howls and hollers the whole day through, because they are so excited over what you have given them as a present. And that, there again, that's just simply them. You know, they have a very simple taste. Doesn't make them a simple-minded people. It just makes them a simple-pleasured people. And I think that's going to be my lesson for today, so that everyone knows that simple things are really good things, even though we may not use them anymore. Our neighbors ahead of us can. So, that being said, watch out for your Bigfoot, your Stayama, your Sasquatch beings, and see if they leave you a footprint, if they leave you sticks, flowers, birds, frogs, anything like that. I'd love to hear about it. And in the meantime, please be kind in your comments and feel free to post them here so that others can share and like as well. And if you have any questions, I'm always here. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.